just yet. Good afternoon or good evening? Good evening? I don't know. They keep me locked in here all the time. I don't get out very much. So I'm just going to make a few quick general announcements for you guys before we get going here. First off, if you could just turn off the flashes on your cameras and cell phones and such, so just no flash photography, please. But take as many pictures as you like, because we'd like to see those up on Facebook, Twitter, etc. Next, if there's time for questions, we do have a microphone here in the middle, so if you guys could use that to ask your questions, because we'd love to hear what they are. Next, cell phones, if you could put those on vibrate or silent, that'd be great. And if you get a phone call, if you just mind taking it out in the hall. And then lastly, we're doing FlipON.TV right now. So we're actually streaming all of these panels live, and we're putting them on archive too. So you can watch these over and over again as much as you want. So when you get a chance, go check that out. So right now I've got Terry. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names. I've got Terry up here, and she's going to do the introductions for us. So let's give her a round of applause.
Good afternoon/evening. So the gentleman I get the pleasure of introducing is someone that I've been sort of stalking, I think, for a couple of days. You know him as the voice of Jabba the Hutt, Shredder, Panthro, and Cleavland Jr. Let's give it up for Kevin Michael Richardson.
As your president, I don't know what to say. No, just kidding. Do you sit? Do you stand? What do you do? It feels weird. Hey, guys. So how you guys doing? Are there any questions? Anybody want to say anything? First of all, I'm very happy to say that one of my best friends from 30 years ago is here, Steve Corey, a buddy of mine from college at Syracuse, and his family. So give a round for my buddy here. He showed up for me, who lives here in Seattle. And that's it. Thank you. Guys, take care. Does anybody have any questions or anything? Yeah, sure.
Hi. So I was wondering, because you went into the Batman series as the Joker, if there was any pressure on you since Mark Hamill was known as the Joker for so long.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was kind of weird. I mean, it was a very bad day. I was doing an on-camera sitcom called Like Family on Warner Brothers, and I was very tired. I came into my agency's office, and they said, Kevin, we want you to read for something. I was like, what? And they said, for the Joker, for the Batman. I said, that's Mark Hamill. They said, yeah, but they're going a different direction. It's a completely different company. I'm like, no, that's Mark's gig. I mean, what are you talking about? So I was so tired and frustrated that I put all that, I just poured all that, and I just spewed on the mic for the audition. I was so upset about it that literally the next day they called and said, we liked what you just did. And I was like, wow. So I went with it, and yeah, it was like a lot of people were very happy about it. A lot of people were just, Mark Hamill, so I was like dodging any little red laser diode that I
really
see.
loved it. I think, obviously, I'm a huge Joker fan. I'm here at Comic-Con. But Joker's my absolute favorite, and to put you in a category from 1 to 10 on a scale from I have no idea who could possibly ever play the Joker to Mark Hamill, I think you were better, to be perfectly honest.
Thank you.
Because
Thank you
you
for saying
had
that.
this crazy laugh that you did. And yes, Mark Hamill's is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
But when I watched the Batman series and I was like, who is that? I was blown away. I was completely blown away.
Thank you for saying that.
Thank you so much.
There was a trip. Thank you. I appreciate it. It was different ball of wax, I got to tell you. And Mark, I'm sure I heard around the block was like, so how does it sound? Does it sound anything like me? And I was like, no, I'm not trying to do you at all. And it worked out. So he basically sounded like, I was feeling a bit screw loose, so I checked myself in. That's how he sounded. It's pretty sick. You look in the mirror, 300-pound Negro, and you see that voice, right? No, I'm just kidding. No, it just kind of came out. Yeah.
I know myself in particular, I'm sure some other people at this con are hoping to join you guys in the booth someday, have a career in voice acting. And I've got a question and then a request. The question being, if you wish you knew something back when you were first starting out that you didn't know, what would that have been? And then the request, I loved your impression of Callista Flockhart dancing. That was hysterical.
That was courtesy of Billy West.
Well,
Billy West.
I
Thank
heard
you.
Billy's version, and then I heard your version.
Yeah.
Frankly, I like yours better.
Thanks. Billy West literally said,
You ever see Callista Flockhart dancing? It sounds like this.
like a skeleton. And that was, if any Callista Flockhart fans are here, I apologize. That's from Billy. Yeah. And the other part of the question, I'm sorry.
The other question was for voice actors, if there was one piece of information that you didn't know back when you were sort of beginning your career that you wish you did, what would that be?
To have more fun. I would have had more fun during the audition process or whatever. Because if I'm not having fun recording something for you, then you won't have fun in listening to it. That's basically the key, really, especially with animation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi.
Hi.
Just in voice acting, quite often actors have to record their side of the dialogue without actually hearing the other actors in the cast.
Could you speak up? Could you say
Sorry,
that again?
can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. In voice acting, quite often you have to record your own dialogue without hearing the other cast record at the same time. I'm just wondering, do you ever feel if you were in the same recording session with another cast member, do you think your performance might be better if you hear how they're delivering their dialogue?
Yeah, absolutely, because you get to feed off of each other, so it's like give and take. It works better. Like, usually do a table read before you do a record with the cast. So at the table reads, they usually work out great because you get to respond to what the other actor did. So, and it's true, a lot of times in the booth when you're recording, you're alone, you know, in this glass booth, while somebody's behind a window kind of trying to direct you. I mean, you have the script in front of you. You have an idea of what the line is before you and stuff, but it really does help when the cast records ensemble because the energy is definitely different, you know.
Right. Was that hard to sort of get used to when you first started doing voice acting compared to doing live action acting?
I'm sorry?
Was that hard to get used to when you first started doing voice acting compared to always acting with all the cast members in live action acting?
Oh, not really. It felt quite comfortable, actually. Talking to myself in a room alone as a child was easy, so yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, so it worked.
My question is, last year Maurice LaMarche was asked about Speak Like William Shatner Day, and he said that you give an even better representation. So I was hoping you could perform that.
Jesus. Yeah, Mo. Yeah, Mo's a good buddy. We do a couple of things, but I mean,
I talk like this once in a while. I know that things are different. Times change. People need to save money, put money in their pocket.
but Mo likes when I do the Shatner run. So if somebody could say, somebody could play Bones. You know Bones from the original series? Yeah. So you're Bones, and I'm Shatner, and let me see. Where can I be? You just have to yell out, Kirk, come quick, or whatever, okay? And I'll give you the cue. And it's basically a run. I'll show you the run. I guess I'll let you be back here or over there. And this is what Mo, I guess, is basically talking about. I feel like a black Tony Robbins right now. I'm jammed to the bridge.
What is it?
So it's the Shatner run. Is what I think Mo's talking about. That's right. Thank you. Yeah. The Shatner run. There you go. Yes, sir.
Hello, KMR.
Hello.
I got two things to ask you. There was this one thing I'm curious about. When you posted this picture on Twitter of you hanging with the Turtles and Seth Green, whatever happened to Donatello's Rob Paulson? I mean,
He was really busy that night. That was at the Annie Awards at UCLA. So I think he was busy co-hosting on stage. So he was kind of running back and forth while we were backstage.
oh, I thought Seth Green's the new Donatello.
I'm sorry?
I thought Seth Green is the new Donatello.
No.
No, and another
Seth is
yeah.
just fine.
And another thing, do you mind if you do your impersonation of Shredder to my friend Stanley.
Sandy?
Stanley.
Stanley.
Or Stanley Cup.
Stanley Cub?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stanley Cub, join the Foot Clan or die.
There you go.
Thank you.
Hey there.
Hi.
I'm a really big fan. Good job on Joker. I loved it.
Thank you. Who are you? What are you dressed as?
I'm dressed as Hawkwoman. I decided you can't sit down with her wings on, and I took off my boots because I'll put on the whole thing for you later.
Okay.
But
I love my wife. Okay. Yeah.
I have two questions. First of all, you're used to doing humans, but then later on you go out and do Kilowog, who is just an alien from somewhere. I don't know. I haven't really read the series, but
Bolavax Vix or Bolavax Vix, something like that. I forgot the name. Bolavax Vix, the name of his planet. Thank you. Yeah.
all right.
Very
So
good.
I wanted to know what it's like doing an alien, and also for my second question, one of the episodes you had to do your own language. When your rings ran out of power or something, you had to come up with, do your own language. Razor and Jordan, they did their own languages too. So I wonder, did you just make that up, or did they have it on script? Or?
Yeah, it was on script. The Giancarlo was very strict about having us record each syllable the way it was written. So, but he also kind of wrote a little translation paragraph underneath as to what we were saying. So you kind of had an idea of what syllables to inflect on in order for it to make sense. So it was really written down, and we really had to say that. And I remember us just looking at each other like, what the hell are we doing? But it worked out. It seemed to have worked out. I still haven't seen that episode, but I heard it came out pretty well.
I thought it was really
cool,
cool.
cool.
I love that episode. It was
Oh, it's great. Yeah, and Jabba the Hutt, I had to learn Huttonese. So they really did have Huttonese written down, and specific meanings. Like, they were very serious about it, I guess, just like how, the Klingon speak is, has its own language. So I had to learn that. I was like, Duku, Joanna Manana Miska Podunki. Oh, ho, 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 ho. That's what they wanted. Thanks.
I was wondering if there's any roles that you tried for but didn't get, but that you really wanted to do. And if so, could you give us a sample of what ones that you would have done?
Oh, man. If there are any roles I tried for that I wanted to but didn't really get. I'm sorry, guys. I can't. At the moment, I'm drawing a blank. I'm sure there's been a couple out there, but Cyborg, Teen Titans. I really wanted to play that role. I really wanted to play but Kari did such a wonderful job that if I had, I'd take it off to him. He was fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi. For any of your characters, do you ever, once they've been established as being done a certain way, wish that you would have gone back and done it a different way?
Yes. There's been a couple. There's been a couple characters like that. I don't want to say what they are, but there's been a couple like that.
And could you talk just a little bit about your process for developing a character? And I imagine there's several different tries that you go to before you find the way that you like it.
Yeah, well, like, for instance, with the Cleveland Jr., Seth MacFarlane said, Kevin, come on in. I was literally cast as Lester, the redneck across the street. A lot of people don't know I played Lester, too. That's right, Cleveland. Nothing like a black fella living next door to you. That's me. But I was cast as Lester first, and he showed me the picture. They usually show you, like, an illustration or like a photo of what the character would look like, and that helps a lot. So when he showed me that, I figured, I know who Junior sounds like right off the bat. And the first voice I did, Seth was like, no, that's not it. So usually the photo helps, but sometimes you got to go through the work as what the character should really sound like. And that means communication between the producer, director, and yourself. You have to have a clear idea of what they want. And Seth and Mike Henry literally said, just think of what Junior would sound like if he was a younger version of Cleveland Senior. So I incorporated that voice with the character I played in the first season of ER. His name was Patrick. He was a mentally challenged patient who had a football helmet and would go around the hospital. And I just worked it out, and literally sitting there for like 15, 20 minutes in the booth with them going, Daddy, how you doing? And it just came out, and it worked. It worked, yeah. Sometimes it takes a little work, but looking at the photo definitely helps out a lot, you know, because you have an idea, oh, I know who this guy is, or who this person is, or who this girl is, because they have, you know, they have us playing so many different kinds of roles, you know. Women, guys, kids, you know. That make sense? Oh, cool. Hi.
Hi. Referring to another Seth MacFarlane show, your favorite role of mine is Principal Lewis on American Dad. I love his outbursts, and I was actually kind of wondering, regarding his like Colombian drug cartel past and things like that, do they ever let you just ad-lib any of that, or is that all scripted, his like crazy outbursts?
It's mostly scripted, actually. They're that crazy, yeah.
Okay.
They're crazy.
They crack me up every time. So,
Thanks, man. End of days, bitches! Yeah.
Thank you.
I love, my favorite part is when they leave the mic on, when he leaves his PA system and he's sitting reflecting inside the, you know, the room. Colombia, cocaine, I remember those days. And then she comes in, Brian! And, you know, he doesn't know that the mic is on.
Last year we lost Michael Clark Duncan.
Yes.
You know, sad, because in my opinion, you're like the only person worthy to take on any of his roles, e.g. Kilowog. Did you ever meet the guy? Do you have any thoughts on him? I'm just kind of
Mike and I were very good friends. He was a really nice guy, very sweet guy. Whenever we bump into each other, he would say, he's the one always taking my jobs. He's the one always taking my jobs. And we just hug each other. And he's just, he was a wonderful big spirit. So I was very sad to hear it was lost. I was very sad. And he was a great guy.
Was there a large, good-looking black man's club that maybe I can find a way my way into, maybe?
Well, we'll have to do genital extensions first. No. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I have no idea. You're probably very well taken care of in that area. Yes. Wow, that just kind of, you know, I probably, left brain. Sorry, children in the, okay. My name is CeeLo, by the way, in case you want to sue. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Huge fan.
Thank you, man.
My question is when you're doing Bulkhead on Transformers Prime, by the way, I love that show.
Thanks, man.
And when you're doing Bulkhead, do you have to like really get into that feel that you are that big, big bubbling machine, and you have to, what motivates you to get into like the Bulkhead mind?
Yeah, they showed me the photo, and basically they said we want a tough guy robot. It was interesting. Jeff Klein, the exec producer, had me audition for both Transformers Prime and G.I. Joe Renegades at the same time. So literally, I was there reading both scripts and playing Roadblock as one character, and Bulkhead as the other. So trying to distinguish between both voices, one having more ethnic power feel to it, the other one more of a straight read tough guy. So that was the automatic distinction that I knew that I had to make between the two. So it just kind of came out as this, Miko, what are you doing now? It just kind of came out when I saw it. He was like, at least I could take a punch without going all squishy. Whereas Roadblock was like, yeah, baby, whoo, as my granddaddy used to say, don't go skinny dipping, but snapping turtles, baby. It just kind of happened. It kind of came out,
And one more thing that you brought up, G.I. Joe Renegades. Is that show canceled, or is there more?
That is done as far as I know. I hear so many different rumors as to what's going on, but nobody's showed me a piece of paper or a contract yet as to what's going on.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hey.
I was wondering what your favorite experience in voice acting has been so far.
There's been a couple, thanks. Man, what do you say? Rob Paulson, Jason Marsden, Charlie Schlaughter, and I were sitting down, and in between takes, sometimes it could be like a couple minutes between takes, so you sit there and, we're all like playing around, goofing around, and we were just playing around with the Wham song of, so literally sitting there making up our own lyrics. You did came out something like, do the marble sack, do the marble sack. You put your ball sack into my mouth, yeah, and it just turned into this horrible like left field. Marble sack into my hand, ooh, and then it just got so bad. So, yeah, that was a fun moment. Sorry.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Oh, Jesus.
Hello.
Hello.
I have a question. Out of all the characters you've played, do you have a particular favorite that you liked?
Oh, man.
I know it's a really hard question. I'm sorry.
The favorite boy, I miss doing the Joker. I really miss doing the Joker. I miss doing him. I was Barney Rubble for Flintstones on the Rocks, and that was a role that I never saw coming. So that was a fun one for me. Okay. Thanks for asking. And that's probably something I'm forgetting, but I can't remember at the moment.
That's all right.
Thanks. Thanks for coming. You guys are left. Thank you.
Hi there.
Yeah.
I apologize for asking maybe possibly a little deeper issue question, but as an African American voice actor, do you find
You or me?
me?
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Do you
Yes.
find that?
I thought I was looking into a mirror.
Well,
No,
yeah,
just kidding.
I was actually talking about that club with the okay, no.
And
Anyway.
I apologize about the extension thing
Yeah.
again. You don't.
I think I'm done here.
No. You're okay.
Okay. So, do you find though that voice acting, because they don't see the character, that it actually is a more colorblind industry than perhaps live acting? And then, second of all, do you prefer playing African American characters, or is it just whatever job I can get?
No, there's really no preferences. Whatever I feel comfortable playing. If I feel that I can nail the guy, or whatever character. I'm sorry. If it feels like you can take the man out of prison, no, if it feels like I could actually, play the character, I don't really look at any of that as a factor. But I think, are you talking to or referring to non-traditional casting? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
like, especially with animation, what you see on the screen might not match who the actor is.
Right.
The voice may match, but the color may not.
Right.
And I'm curious what your thoughts are on that.
I think that's fantastic. I think non-traditional casting is very common in voiceover. I think it's a very good thing, and that's a wonderful thing about that world, because you have guys playing girls, girls playing guys, older women playing little boys. There's really no boundaries, and that's one of the beautiful things about voiceover, which I really love.
Thank you.
Good question. Thanks.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, so I got a question about Green Lantern. You provide the voice for Kilowog, Mel
Mhm.
Duncan, and Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
Does keeping those three voices separate ever get confusing? Does one ever blend into the other or anything like that?
Yes, that'll happen time to time. So they usually have to play a scratch of the character that I played so I can keep in mind what I did, because I literally do forget what I do sometimes. Because sometimes on shows, especially ones that I recur on, it could be months before you go back to record and you completely forget what you did. So they ask, I have to ask them to play it back. So, and as soon as I hear it, I go, oh, okay, that's what the guy sounded like. So I could do that. So, yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
The lady over there wanted me to ask you to do the voice.
Could you get closer to the mic? What was that?
The lady over there wanted me to ask you to do the voice of Maurice from Madagascar.
Oh, oh, King Julian's a pain in my ass.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Hey, doctor.
I had a question about in Lilo and Stitch, you play Captain Gantu,
Mhm.
and when you're presented with a character that's not only non-human but never been defined, like Kilowog had a voice before, but Captain Gantu is brand new. How did you give them a voice? Like, how did you come up with your idea of what they should sound like?
For Gantu?
Yeah, for like a truly alien character.
Gantu, I gotta tell you, I blame the movie before he passed away, Animal House, for that role. John Vernon was my inspiration for Captain Gantu. He played Dean. Was it Dean Wormer? Yeah, for the movie Animal House, because he had that distinct richness in his voice. And I said, who can be a real prick? and just be a complete ass to this alien. And I thought of his character, and I said, that's it. And I just remember, because there was one scene in that movie where he goes, "That foot is me." And I said, that's it. So that's what I used to play Captain Gantu. You know, and he was like, "Does this look infected to you?" You know, it really helped out with the character.
Well, thank you very much. It's
Thank
my
you.
favorite Disney film. So
Thank you.
And reoccurring roles that you have, can you discuss, is there anything that's written for you that you just don't see the character doing, or maybe disagreements you have? Do you ever try and influence the direction of a character, I guess?
I wish I did that more. That's a good question. I wish I did that more, but there was a couple times where the things were written that I knew the character wouldn't say. And, you know, I put my foot down, but sometimes when you have a network and producers breathing down your neck, it's hard. Sometimes producers and directors will bend your way. Mostly they will. But when you're, you know, up against a network, you know, saying, no, it's kind of hard. But I did try to step up to the plate, and I did put my foot down. But unfortunately, in certain issues, I wasn't heard. But on the most part, you'll find the producers and directors are open-minded. So, and things can work out when you know something's a little off, you know.
Are there any type of characters that you're unwilling to do, or?
Yes, yeah, there are. Definitely. I think out of principle, you know, sometimes too, when this whole possible strike with The Simpsons was going on, I'm friends with Dan Castellaneta, Nancy Cartwright, these guys, and they wanted people to come into audition. I said, no, absolutely not, you know, things like that, you know.
Hi, just a quick question about, for people who are aspiring to do voice acting.
Yes.
How to set up a demo reel, or, you know, just like grab some sides from like some scripts or something, or what do you recommend?
It depends. It could be a whole mishmash of different things. Like if you have like commercials, animation. If you want to, it shouldn't be longer than a minute and a half, minute and 45 seconds.
Okay.
You could have commercial stuff on there, trailer stuff, narrative stuff, your animation stuff, your wild and wacky voices. A lot of people like to put different types of music to each segment. You could do that. But basically, as I said earlier, just really have fun when you record it, you know, and just keep an eye open, an ear open rather, as to what you listen to or see on the TV or in the trailers and stuff, so you have an idea of what's going on currently. And you could write your own scripts and stuff like that, or, you know, product for your own fake commercials and stuff like that. But you remember, you're the star, so only you could do you. And, you know, as far as the animation.
It's my wife's job, but yeah.
Say that again?
That's my wife's job, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry to go look with previous jokes. Anyhow,
okay, we're having fun. We're having fun.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I got to take one more question. I got a boogie, guys.
Just to follow up to that, I'm curious, when you listen, I'm sure people come up to you and say, hey, can you listen to my demo tape? What makes someone stand out to you when you hear it and you're like, wow, this person might actually have a chance?
They have uniqueness. It's not necessarily they sound completely different from one segment to the other, which there's a lot of people who are really good at, but they just have this, sometimes it's unique quality where you like listening to them. You know, it doesn't feel like they're working really hard to make this demo. Sometimes it's like when it's comfortable to the ear, you're like, oh, this is nice. This is nice. That's like the number one thing you want to look for. If it's like in the first few seconds you want to shut it off, that's not good. You know, so it has to be really, something that's comfortable to the ear. And that all really lies on like if you're enjoying what you're doing instead of feeling pressured to do what you're doing. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You guys are great. You're fantastic. I thank you so much for being here and showing up. I had no idea. It's my first time in Seattle. I really like the weather. I love it here. And it means a lot you showed up. Thank you so much.